Yo people, welcome back to another Ahsoka review, this time episode 4, and what an ending to the episode, what a return. Hayden Christensen is back as Anakin Skywalker, and apparently that's all that matters. Okay, thank you for watching, drop a like on the video, sub to the channel if you... I'm joking. Anyways, where do we start? Straight off the top, Maruk? What the hell was that? He's basically Night Sister Green Ashy Irrelevance. We all got trolled there, we all thought he was going to be more important. I'm still holding out for Starkiller or Galen Marek to be Thrawn's bodyguard, but everything online says that role's already taken, unfortunately. I'm going to name small tiny negatives first because I don't believe the episode was a 10 out of 10, so I need to explain why. I'm not going to let the Hayden return brush everything under the carpet. I'll let that happen in the next episode. Who knows? But I think the episode had a weird pacing, especially at the beginning, because they were doing the talking stuff, then they went into fighting, and then they were doing the hero stuff in between the fights, and it kind of just killed a bit of the momentum of the fights themselves. Also, I wanted to see Balin's backstory and get some more explanation as to who he is, other than what we already heard in the trailers, but maybe that will come in the next episode. Maybe Anakin will explain who Balin is, who knows. Anyways, on to the positives, and the fighting, as I just mentioned. That was actually probably the best fighting we've seen since the prequels. Dave absolutely cooked. He used the environment, he knew about the pacing of the particular fights. I know I said it kind of went up and down, but that's because of the hero stuff. He knows how to build up tension with the fights. Give this guy the keys to every single Star Wars show that is coming up. The difference between this show and something like Obi-Wan or Andor or Book of Boba Fett, which was corporately controlled, Mando Season 3 corporately controlled. It's just crazy. The difference is night and day. You can tell who knows about Star Wars, who cares about Star Wars, and just having a random director or someone who isn't as clued up. They haven't cooked this hard since probably the ending of Clone Wars Season 7. I'd even say Tales of the Jedi was very good, despite them being 10-minute episodes. But what's in common with Clone Wars, Tales of the Jedi, and Ahsoka? They're all handled by Dave Filoni. But yeah, let's start with the characters now. Maruk, like I mentioned earlier, ended up being nothing. I did hear rumours that he was actually just going to be some sort of possessed Night Sister thing, and I didn't actually think it would be true. So yeah, overall I'm not even too upset about this, to be honest. I feel like Disney ran with the hype that the fans created, so I can't even blame them. I guess those Maruk figures and the Funko Pops and the Lego figures and everything, they're not going to get bought anymore, are they? We got to see more of Shin, and she went from this mysterious character to just showing a bit more rage, which was kind of cool to find out a bit more about her. Sabine was very well written, especially because I know she has most eyes on her. People are targeting her, and everyone who's hating is just waiting for her to slip up or do something so people can shit on her. So I'm glad she was written well. She held her own in a realistic way, and she barely used the Force, which is good. I think if she had have used it in any way, shape or form to any effect, then that would have been really cringe, and I'm happy they managed to mix the lightsaber fighting with her Mando style of fighting, with the blasters and everything. Balin, we got to see why he is the big threat. Like I mentioned earlier, I want to know how he's achieved all this power and how he's got this prestige and everything. He is ruthless, as we saw him throw Ahsoka off the cliff, but also at the same time, he has morality to some extent. Like when Shin was force choking Sabine, he literally told her to stop because he gave Sabine his word. So hopefully we get more backstory from him, but everything good from him in this episode. Now, Ahsoka. I'm not even sure what happened to her. Like, is she in a coma? Is she dead? Is this what happens when you turn into a force ghost? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna assume that she's dead because Anakin says, I didn't expect to see you so soon. So like I said, probably death. Having said that, Anakin didn't look like a force ghost, so is it a hallucination? I know Dave Filoni has this whole Gandalf thing that he's trying to do with Ahsoka, and we know Gandalf dies and then becomes Gandalf the White, so maybe this is a similar situation here. Maybe that's how Ahsoka gets the white robes at the end of Rebels in live action. Now, before you say anything, I know there's other stuff to it, and oh, but that's already happened and everything. I'm not going to go into that, but just maybe. I think next episode will be really good. Directed by Dave Filoni himself. There's just no way this can fail. I assume Anakin will show Ahsoka stuff that she didn't get to see or that she doesn't know about. And this may include things like Anakin versus Obi-Wan on Mustafar. Maybe showing Ahsoka how Luke helped to redeem him at the end of Return of the Jedi. Maybe even Anakin explaining who Balin is. Who knows? Tons of things that can happen. The possibilities really are endless, so I don't see how this can fail. I think the next episode will be a 10 out of 10. They played the Vader theme at the end, so does he maybe go into a dark side Anakin for a bit? Literally anything can happen. Ultimately, Anakin will give her a pep talk, will motivate her, and we'll get to see more of the Ahsoka that we're used to. I do think she was purposely written to be more angry and frustrated at the start of this show, so she can actually have a story arc going on, and Anakin will be the catalyst. So for the people that are saying that she is acting different, this is why. Also, just some small things. I'm wondering if Sabine's connection to Ezra will help everyone on board to find Ezra and Thrawn, or will it be Morgan who does the witchcraft stuff and they find Thrawn first? Or is it 2 in 1 kind of thing? Who knows? Another thing, Jason will be clutch for the next episode. I think he will use the Force to locate Ahsoka's body, because as we saw at the end of this episode, he said, I have a bad feeling, something along those lines, basically hinting that let's go down and investigate this feeling that I have kind of thing, because ultimately Ahsoka's in trouble. He just doesn't know how to express it. But I do believe Ezra, once they find him, will train Jason, and they're setting it up. It will be like a whole poetic thing, and I can't wait for that one personally. But yeah, I'd like to give this episode probably an 8 out of 10, and I think the next episode should definitely be no less than a 9. I just don't see how they can flop it. There could be a lot more cameos as well in the next one, just because they're visiting different moments during the whole storyline, so brace yourselves for that. I don't want to set expectations too high, but I think maybe a little Obi-Wan or something like that. Also, they need to start making these episodes a lot longer, especially when you're cooking this hard. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, any predictions, just any overall thoughts that you have. Like the video while you're at it as well, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and if you're new around here. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.